we are on YouTube. You can always go back there to watch this program. Well, it's good to have you here. We have a full table today, and I'm super excited, but I'm a bit scared. Like, who's going to hold this table now? But anyways, it's fine. I'm of course, they are amazing gentlemen, amazing guests that we always have on Wednesday. Even though we have an extra, we imported him from Tuesday into Wednesday because of a particular topic. But I will start right from my near right. I have Mr. Nuruddin Adegbero, who is a senior lecturer and a senior journalist. It's good to have you, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, and good afternoon to all our viewers. Good to be here.
It's good to be having you too here. And yes, we have our guest who you already seen is Segun Sofiton, who is the chairman of ACT Network. It's good to have you, sir.
It's good to be here. Good afternoon, Nigerians. Good afternoon to my friends on the panel. It's going to be hot today, I promise you. I promise you.
And then we have Chris Asilami, who is a public and a social analyst. It's good to have you, sir. Welcome to the show, sir.
Yeah, it's good to be here. I saw the straight face of Mr. Segun. I'm like, okay, indeed, it's going to be hot here today. Yeah. But it's fine. It's great to be here. Yeah, it's always nice being here.
Okay, all right. So because of our time, we have had so much, time gone because we're trying to fix one or two things. But starting up, we are still talking about the electoral bill, which we've had the Senate, we've had the protesters, talk about. But first, I'm going to take it one after the other. And this one is the Senate that commenced emergency plenary on the Electoral Act amendment amidst the protest. Welcome back. Well, we just saw the person who said he started it by saying they wanted the bill not to be amended, they wanted it to be the way it was before, which is not transfer but transmission. I will start with you, Mr. Nuruddin. First of all, what is your take about the amended bill?
First, I want to congratulate Nigerians that more Nigerians are now more sensitive. Not all Nigerians, but more Nigerians are now more sensitive to the electoral process. Before, people always clamor about the election, but they don't look at what the law says. Now, people are paying. In fact, a lot of people, the reason why you see that this particular section 60 subsection 3 has been there in the Electoral Act, but we don't pay attention to it until the judgment of the Supreme Court now told us that the guideline of the INEC, the Electoral Act, electoral ways of the INEC and guiding principle, there is a law in the Electoral Act that told the INEC that it can have its own guiding principles. Now we want it to, because of the Supreme Court judgment, we now want it to be in the Constitution itself. Now, people want to correct what happened in the Supreme Court 2023. And that is the reason why you see all this face. For a layman, this is what happened. In the last general election, especially the presidential, in the judgment, senatorial election and presidential election, they were done on the same day. The result of the senatorial elections were on the IRF. The one of the presidential started on the IRF until it stopped. The election was done the same day. Then secondly, INEC could not say anything until a lot of people are now raising eyebrow. They now said there is a technical glitches. And some certain Nigerians and some politicians believe that is a way to rig the election. How come the senatorial results can be on the IRF, the presidential cannot proceed when it has started?
Okay, I'm so sorry. Yes, I guess the camera has spanned to me because we need to go for a commercial break. I'm so sorry for the interruption. Please let's quickly go for a commercial. All right, welcome back. Yes, this is watching the buzz. Well, apologies for that, but thank you for the commercial break. And of course, Mr. Nuruddin, we're listening to you based on what you said. You are trying to explain and give us a breakdown.
So, at that particular time, when the Supreme Court of Nigeria gave a judgment that it is not mandatory according to the Electoral Act that INEC must transmit the results by IRF. That is not compulsory, but it is a part of the guideline of INEC. And Mahmood Yakubu at that particular time, with the director of voters registration and the spokesperson of that particular agency, talk it on several locations. In fact, on my program on a particular radio station, he spoke it more than 3 times, because I had him more than 3 times. Anytime he comes to Lagos, he must be on my program. And I told him that, are you sure? That he said, in fact, that is a game changer. That IRF is a game changer. And at the end of the day, people were disappointed. So that was the reason why you see some certain lawmakers now saying, okay, let's put it in Electoral Act. Let it be an issue. And that is why the politics started. Some certain politicians within the National Assembly believe that, no, if you do it, that means some people are like, okay, we should not even put it. Let's give the discretion to the INEC. Some people believe that, okay, let it transmit it. Some people believe that, no, let's retain section 63 subsection 3, that, okay, it should just be that it's going to be there. Whatever INEC places, they should just do it. And majority of the opposition within the National Assembly believes that it is important to put that it should transmit and it should be in real time. That one becomes another thing. Transmit. You understand now? Transmit, and another word again that somebody, senator, used to replace it has become transfer and transmit. Now becomes another. Those 2 words are broadcasting terms. And those 2 words are also engineering terms. In fact, in the model of communication, those 2 means different things. Of course, yeah. And in the court of law, it means different things. So for the reason, what is transmit? Is transmit not transfer? No, in semantics, it may look like the same thing. But in law, in communication, it's different.
Of course, yes.
So, and that is how it now. One thing I don't like about this discussion is that some certain politicians are claiming saints, as if they don't rig. That's the reason why they are saying it must be in real time. While there are some certain politicians, they are also behaving like somebody that wants to rig. That is the reason why they don't want it to be on the IRF and it should be transmitted in real time. While the interest of the Senate President, according to what he said before the emergency sitting of yesterday, also doing as if there is one problem associated with the real time that they are talking about. I've seen a respected journalist in Lagos, I know him very well and he knows me, that have said that in his mouth that is going to be very difficult to transmit. And I look at him like this, Oga is Oga in the sense that he's my senior, but he's not my boss.
Okay.
I know he cannot even lecture me. But in journalism, he's my senior. I was so surprised that he used his mouth saying, hey, we cannot transmit. I said, The reason why I believe that we can transmit in real time in Nigeria is one thing, is some things. Number one, there is no state that doesn't have bank. There is no local government. No matter how poor that local government, there is going to be one bank there. Number two, technology in 2026 has gone beyond what we are saying now.
Very true.
See, I have gone to thank God I'm a journalist. I have gone to some remote part of Nigeria where there is no network, Mr. Shopito, with my Starlink. I did not only do real-time live, I connected with my radio station and I reported in due time. Compared to ordinary paper. Because people don't understand this thing, that what they are asking the polling units officers to do is just that you have announced results, you've calculated it, there is a paper
there.
You snap
it and send.
Can you compare what I'm going to do in a live video with ordinary paper? They should not make it difficult. That's number one. Number two, they said there are some certain places where technological convergence is not feasible. Is that not indictment on the government? At this 2026. Then another thing again is this. What people don't know, they are still attaching the network of phone. That all what you must have is the network of phone. No, now, with the current technology, it is possible. Let us know those particular areas. And one thing there is that it is not about who is going to win, who is going to lose. We want a credible election. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the president today. He won't be president for life. But that structure is going to be there for life. And that is what we are saying. But one thing that I want people to understand is that, to me, politicians are the same. Nobody should be doing as if he's going to be a saint. And some politicians should not be as if they are potential rigger. If they are not potential rigger, why against our structure? Because this structure want to be, it's not about Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It will come, the worst that can happen, he will win the re-election or he will not win. Another person will be there, but he's going to live there one day. The same way Buhari left there. But our structure is our country. It's going to be there, and that is the problem. And that is why a majority of Nigerians, if National Assembly are the representative of the people, and the people are saying, not all people though, but majority of people are saying we want a situation, technology is going to be involved in our electoral process. And some people are talking about hacking. I just laugh. These are political jargons that people are talking about. That some people say, the reason why they don't want to use it in real time is that some people will now hack. I say, thank God Mr. Shobito has worked in the bank. If they want to hack any organization, there are two organizations that they will not free from hacking. And they are always have something to defend themselves. Number one is Central Bank. Number two is all these our commercial banks. Are they not attacking them? Does that mean there is no defense from any network? At this 2023, it is so bad.
I want to hear what other guests has to say. Thank you very much for clarifying that. The difference between, because a lot of people, we had that issue even as at Monday and just Monday, where they believe that transmission and transfer was the difference. But I don't want to be the one to state it. I want people.
No, it's different. Let me open that one. Transfer is the movement. Wait, I'm coming. Transfer is the movement of any data or any content from one person to another. That is transfer. Transmit is the transfer of a content to heterogeneous people for public. Is different from transfer. You understand now? The same way you make transfer from one account to another is different from transmit. That one involves the public and heterogeneous people. So there are two different things.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, let's hear from Mr. Segun Sokoton, please. What do you say about this whole electoral bill amendment thing?
First of all, I think on the issue of the transfer versus transmit, I think if somebody needs to start defining the difference, the way he just defined it, we should expunge the two and make it clear. Electronic transmission of results in real time. English. Nobody, that's not subject to debate, it's not subject to misunderstanding. Mr. Nuruddin doesn't have to develop headache to try and define it. So that's clear. Look, the whole thing is saddening. It's very, very, it makes you truly wonder what we are about as a people. I'm glad that Nigerians are speaking up. And like I always say on air, every program that I have the opportunity to speak on, every time that Nigerians speak with unity and in unison on one matter, government will always listen and they reverse themselves. So the job is not done. No, I want to encourage us. We're not there yet. We're almost there yet. We're not there yet. I'll come back to that. Now look, before President Goodluck Jonathan came, we had the worst under President Obasanjo
in
2003 and 2007. Those elections were historically damaging. They were not elections. These were places, you had such variations between number of registered voters and actual vote cast, sometimes doubled. So it was clear that these elections did not happen. We only just went out. I've voted from every election since I've been old enough to vote in 1993. Abiola.
Yeah.
Right? Since that election, I voted every single time. We all go out, stand in the sun, in the rain, different conditions, we cast our votes, and then somebody just ignores all of it and writes results. That's what happened in 2003 and 2007. To the credit of President Jonathan, Yar'Adua/Jonathan, they introduced some changes, and we found ourselves by 2015 elections using something they call the card reader.
Yes.
And it was captured in the law. It was mandatory, right? Now, during Buhari's time, Buhari also contributed his own improvement. He brought the beavers.
Yeah.
Right? He brought additional technology. IM is an innovation of the Buhari administration.
Yes.
Right? So you can see that we're making progression. From Obasanjo, where we're just writing results, we now move to a place where we can actually accredit voters, which reduce rigging significantly.
Yes.
That's why 2015 could have happened. Otherwise, Jonathan would not have lost the election.
Yes.
It was because of the card reader. Okay? Now, Buhari came, did his own. And as a result of that, we saw a significant interest in young people, because they were assured that with these beavers and IREB, this is anti-rigging, it's airtight. Only for INEC to, to ambush Nigerians with the glitch. Okay? But the point is that there was a deliberate move towards improvement of the process.
Okay.
So one would have thought that under the presidency of an avowed democracy fighter, elections are the fundamental foundational structure of democracy.
Yes.
If you do not have credible elections, you can never have democracy. It's impossible. Okay?
Yeah.
So President Tinubu prides himself for being a pro-democracy activist. This man has gone out in protest against previous presidents. Right? How can it be that under his presidency we are actually watching in real time as progress wants to be reversed in law? Like they are using legislation to move us backwards. It is a shame and a travesty. Everybody that is defending this, they must look inside themselves and ask themselves deep questions. What is required now is for the law to look at what happened, the problems that we had in 2023, and the law should be amended to prevent it from happening again. That's what everybody does in all civilized societies. Yes. So how are we now moving backwards? You say that because of communication problems, are you joking? In 2026, it's ridiculous. I think we should stop saying these types of things because it makes us look stupid to the world. You cannot talk about any part of this country anywhere. We are not in Afghanistan. There is no part of this country that's not covered in one way or the other by one technology or the other, even if it has to now be satellite. A la Starlink.
Yes.
Even if it has to be satellite. So what are we talking about? So for me, I think that the Senate, having been challenged by Nigerians and appearing to now be doing a reversal where they're now saying, okay, they will now put electronic real-time transmission in the law. But they're still putting a proviso.
Just in case.
To say, if there is technology failure, they must remove that clause. They have to remove that clause. That's why I said we're not there yet.
Where they put incident
form. Yes, exactly. That's incident form. They must remove that clause, because that clause, look, once you have that clause, it's as good as we didn't do anything. That first part where you said INEC results shall be transmitted electronically in real time, right? Has become invalidated by the clause that followed. Because what will happen is that in electoral places, in polling units and collation centers and local governments and states where you have a strong man, there will be technology failure. They can go as far as going to shut down base stations for this purpose. So you must not put that there. What the law must say is that INEC must transmit elections electronically in real time, and that INEC shall provide the redundancy in the event of a technology failure. INEC must provide the law must stipulate it. If the law stipulates it, and in incidents where both fails, the election must be rerun. That is the only way for us to ensure that these riggers will not be glitch to sabotage the franchise and the voice of the people in this coming election. So I say to Nigerians, we're not there yet. We need to continue to persist.
Harmonization.
And then we must follow the process.
Yes.
Until the House of Reps and the Senate arrive at a single bill that says what we want. That says what we want, right? And then we now say, okay, we have done well. So Nigerians, please, let's not stop. Let's keep pushing. Let's insist. I want to give a very, very big thumbs up to my colleagues in the civil society. Some of us are beginning to get a bit gray, you know, so we support in other ways now. For going out on the street, for creating the public outrage and outcry that we have done. Very good kudos to all of them. I'm not going to mention names, right? But please, let's not stop. We're not done yet. We have to keep going until the law is passed. And the law that is passed is the one we want. Not another copy, no gazetting of a different version and all those funny stuff that we saw with the tax bill. You know, our government, our politicians are getting really smart. You just find different, very creative ways of circumventing and subverting the will of the people. That has to stop. So on this one, you see, because the reason why this is so important is that if we get it right with elections, if elections produce the people that the Nigerians want, that they voted for, then look, Nigeria will make progress.
Yes.
It's inevitable. It's inevitable because the people know better. No politician, no godfather anywhere knows better who is better for us than us ourselves. So the moment all democracies, where the will of the people determines leadership selection, progress is inevitable. Yeah. So let's focus on this issue of this bill and make sure that we get what we want so that we can make progress.
Okay, well, I said it too. Well, anyway, Chris, what do you say about the amendment of bill? Listening to our two guests in the House that have spoken a whole lot on their stand about the amendment.
All right, let me start from taking the pick from Mr. Nuruddin, and then I thought he made a very profound statement when he said some people are acting saints by clamoring for real-time transmission of results as if they're not riggers. That is just a grand deceit. Thank God you said that, and thank you for saying that, Buster. And then I also said some people are opposing it, looking as if they are potential riggers. All right, thank God they are being exposed. Then I also like to take a cue from what Mr. Shegun said, and then he spoke about the progressive development we've seen. Started with the card reader. Sincerely speaking, I think what defeated Jonathan was first and foremost the card reader, because he pegged rigging. Because before then, from Aso Rock, you write results. Back then, with Obasanjo, that he said, you will still be on the queue voting, results will be announced. You understand? That was as bad as that. In my state, there, Edo State, when we were fighting against the then governor, Lucky Benedion, and then the student union at my university were like, we're not going to vote for you. He said, what? I don't need your vote. It's Ugbe now. That's what he said. He said, it's Ugbe back then. But thank God, we had a progression with the card reader that checkmate, that put a peg to how you can read. Then we had beavers. Thank you for mentioning that. And of course, challenging this administration to also add to that and not take us back. All right. I appreciate that. Those were fantastic. But let me quickly say this. First and foremost, I think every sane Nigerian and every sane society, what we want is a successful electoral process, all right, that is credible, accountable, and then transparent. I participated in the June 12, 1993 election. It was option A for whatever you know with Q and all that. It was amazing. It was beautiful. It was, I mean, it is true that it is the fairest and the most transparent we've ever had. We can always go back to that. I mean, that is sane, all right? Okay, we start from that. So we all want a credible election. Number two is that we also have to be very careful about process. I'm a process person. I believe so much in process. Because for me, once you get the process right, the product, the eventual outcome is a bit secondary for me. So I focus more on the process. But you see, if you try to solve a problem, and you're not careful, you could create another problem, in fact a bigger one. So that's why the process must be very careful. We should be meticulous with what we project and what we go about. So in other words, we should be constructive and objective in our reasoning. All right, so that we don't put too much of sentiment and emotion and populism. Populism is what I detest like hell. Okay, because it does not speak to facts. It does not speak to objectivity. It's just unguided emotion. All right, and they're just speaking to what will please the people, what people want to hear, even if it's not what we want, whatever, just whatever that will suit the people. Populism is cheap and it's for weaklings. All right. Now, having said that, well, I thought that we should embrace our realities. Mr. Shegun made mention of something like talking about the flaws in our technology in 2026 that make us look stupid to the world. I'm sorry to say, we're already stupid to the world. because we keep having technological glitches in every sector of the country. There was a time when we had a bit of a fuel issue. I went to the filling station, I bought 50 liters of fuel, and I did a transfer. Right there on the spot, I was debited. The attendant was not credited, and it was a day of transfer and not be water. Oil not be water and gold. So I wanted to let go of my 50 liters. So I said, I will wait for you till you are credited. It was not forthcoming. I was there. I had to go live on social media to say, look, I'm arrested here. I can't leave, blah, 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 blah. I said all of that. So somebody saw the video. The owner of the filling station in London saw it and set somebody down to come and bail me out. So while somebody was coming, a friend in South Africa saw it and I asked for the attendant's account. So he transferred the money. That's how I could leave. So what I'm trying to say is this. We have these issues. It's our reality. It's failing us. So to think that it cannot fail us again, we'll be asking for too much.
I say in one off. Because you have done a lot of transfers that are going.
Yes.
That one is one off. Election is one off.
I appreciate that I'm not interrupted. I appreciate that I'm not interrupted. But the thing is this. You just cannot tell when technology will act up. This is not to say I'm opposed to it. No. I'm just trying for us to embrace our reality with facts. One thing to say is, okay, just like what Elon Musk said of recent. Elon Musk said that, look, he does not believe election will be via computer because computer can be hacked, it can be compromised. It should be, okay, I will go to what I think is the master solution to all of this. Now, starting with that, one thing I really want to ask ourselves, we should ask ourselves is this. Number one, are we truly ready for high-tech technological electoral demand? I'm not sure if we're really there, because I believe we should grow up, not jump up. We should grow up through the process, because we have this failed and struggling internet connectivity with banks, with our mobile network data, with everything. And we're still talking about internet here, all right, to do this transmission and all of that, which primarily I would have loved to have transmission and all this to work, because the most popular candidate should be the winner. The best of us should be the one winning us, not those that knows the game. What do they know about the game? Cheating, rigging. No, the guy with the best manifestos, the guy with the best brain, the most popular guys should win elections, not those with power around to buy over. No. So, but however, I'm very careful about the process we were demanding for. Number two, I did some research. As at 2085, which the last of research that was conducted on, the broadband penetration of internet in Nigeria today is about 51.7%. The internet user is about 45%. So, to say that we all know it, that we don't have visible network across Nigeria. There are places, in fact, I just relocated. Where I am now, sometimes I have to leave the house to get connected to my MC or whatever. So we have that challenge. So what I'm trying to say is, then what kind of transmission are we going to have? So we're going to be okay to have real-time transmission somewhere. Some other time, we have to fall back to the from E8A or whatever, and all of that. So it's not going to be uniformed in terms of collation and all of that. So we have a challenge to really look at how true can we do transmission nationwide in a uniform manner, which I think is a big challenge at the moment. Number three question we need to ask ourselves is, how can we combat hack threats? Because in 2023, almost 13 million hack attempts were made. We call it by
yes.
Because
but they didn't put the proof out.
Fine, yeah.
That was what they said.
That's what they said. It can be proven. That's one. Then number two, in 2019, that this transmission thing was discussed, though not in electoral law, but we saw how that article got results from say he claimed from INEC back end that he won the election. And when they asked him, okay, how did you get from INEC back end? He said, one Sierra Leonean. So that was even a case of raping a child that was not given birth to. You understand? So because they have a way of getting in. So the threat of hacking is serious, because there's a video. Okay, let me just, for the sake of transparency, I saw a video. I have it on my phone of Peter Obi. It has gone viral for years now. Of Peter Obi in the midst of some guys in the diaspora in abroad, and they told him, push technology into the electoral process, and I will rig this election for you. It's in the public domain. And it was in their means, they object to that and all of that. So we know what can happen with technology, whatever, because you can easily compromise it if you are good enough. I'm coming, sir. I will land. But we'll get there. So what I'm going to say here is this: as much as you can defend it, it's about who is better. It's going to be a cyber war in terms of You are trying to hack, we are trying to block, and at the end of the day, integrity will be questioned because it's about fireworks now. It's going to be cyber war about those hacking, those preventing, and all of that. At the end of the day, who wins? We cannot guarantee who wins.
So
now,
stand?
Okay, fine. I'm coming down here. So for me, I would have thought that how do we deal with? Okay, for example, now, sorry, it's better for me to say this. The last time the 2023 presidential election, because the Obedience felt they won and they didn't announce them as winner, the next they did was they called for military takeover. We saw that. Now, if you went on this outright transmission of a result now, and then we have compromised situation, whoever thinks they emerge as winner, and if God forbid is compromised, how then do you now stop such people from thinking that they didn't win when they thought that they won through plural compromise system? So for me, what I would have thought should be very, very strong now. What should be strong on now is how to punish electoral offenders
after the fact.
No, not after the fact. Not after the fact. It's part of the process. No, this is what I'm trying to say. We must put up a system, a very strong system that will bring in capital punishment for riggers of election. Either for those that are used, or those that benefit from it, or those that are caught in the process. We must come up with something very strong that will detect riggers, apprehend riggers and punish them, even if it means by killing or life imprisonment, whatever that is. That I believe we should be stronger, because look, this like what Bishop said earlier, this politician will go to any extent to rig. If you say live transmission, no problem, but then they jam all the areas where they are weak, and then you can't have live transmission again because they are jammed. So if the areas are jammed, they have to fall back to the manual process as provided by the law. But what the senators have just said now, that where it's not working with transmission, go back to the manual. All right. So what we will simply do is, because they are smart, they will go to areas where they are weak and they will jam the whole place. You have problem by force. You can't transmit anything by force. You go back to where you are coming from. So what we're saying is, it's not even like it's guaranteed. If it passed today, like so, it's not guaranteed. So we must go back to how it can work. And I think I have something I have to say as regards that.
I have to address this, please, because I know we're running out of time.
Yeah, we're running out of time. Please, you stand at you don't have issues, but what is the offenders, the electoral offenders, right?
I believe we should, we're very strong on the offenders. And then what I think the solution actually, very quickly is this. Yeah. We all have, in this age of technology, right? They are announcing result at the polling unit. Now, the one thing is, a serious candidate must have functional situational room, so that you can just pile up your information. What am I trying to say? They are announcing result, do a video, do a picture of the result, and then start pushing it upward. So that way, all of the agents, the side of it, we all have the same thing. All right, we have it on video, we have it pictured, you understand, captured in picture, and then we send it up there. Before INEC announces their result, all the candidates already know the results.
The only person that the law allows to announce result is INEC.
But that way, you can compete with INEC in the court because you have the facts.
Excuse me, no.
That cannot be altered.
No. You see,
okay, yes,
the point that my brother has made now, they appear, grounded in reality, but we must remind ourselves of the truth and the reality of the day. Look, hacking did not start this year or last year. Hacking is as old as technology itself.
Yes.
For as long as technology has existed, there have been bad actors looking for a back door. Has that stopped technology from progressing?
No.
Please understand something, sir, and I want the public to understand that nobody is asking for electronic voting.
For now.
That's the way we're talking about. That's what Elon Musk was talking about. We're not talking about voting by thumbprint on a machine and the thing is transmitted. We're saying a hybrid where paper, because you are right, hackers are there, right? So let's use the paper trail, but the election results, the one single,
because that's the problem.
That's the loophole. The loophole that riggers take advantage of
is
the relation, not the voting.
Not the voting.
So you don't think the situation room should be very strong?
No. Situation room is for the private candidate.
You have all your facts there, and with that you can counter INEC in the court. You have that is authentic and strong.
You cannot take the conversation back to court. It is aberration. It is not normal in any society for elections to be determined in court. Let's stop talking about court. These are politicians. That's why they read election. They say, but they say you to court.
No. Election court is part of the process. You cannot take that away. It's part of the process.
The truth of the matter is
it's part of the process. You cannot take that away.
Must not, should not, in civilized society anywhere, unless you are saying you want to take us back to the past. In civilized society, elections are not supposed to be determined in court. The process should be so good that once you lose, if you do transparent, that you will call, you pick up the phone and call the opponent and say, congrats. Can I take it back to Agor versus Bush in America? Excuse me, Agor versus Bush. They almost went to court. That is US America. Yes, US election. They almost went to court. You said you should not be talking. Let me talk.
Okay,
that was US democracy. That was US democracy. I'm sorry. Look, the point is this, very simple. Let us make sure that our process is transparent. Good. Enough.
Yeah.
All technological loopholes. I am a technology practitioner. I have an app that is working in different places. I have developers working for me. I pay them salary. I know what I'm saying. Hackers will always be there. There is a fail-safe. That's how it's done all over the world. Please, let's stop creating this false narrative that politicians are using to try to game us and rig the truth away. Hacking can be prevented. There are backdoors and double backdoors.
Yes.
I know what I'm saying.
At the back end.
Please, technology, transmission, what they call it, communication technology has gone too far. They're telling me that any part of this country cannot be covered by the federal government of Nigeria. The biggest economy in Africa by truth. You are telling me that there is a part of this country that we cannot cover by communication technology so that we can transmit data. What we're talking about is less than 1 kilobyte.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? Please.
The idea is good, but we should embrace our realities.
No. The idea is good. There's no reality. The reality that you're talking about is a false reality.
We should embrace our realities.
It's a false reality.
Every objective Nigeria knows that we have technology.
I will never say that.
It's not perfect. It's not 100%. And we should not base it. We should not build our own revelation on that.
Reality. Which reality?
Minutes just after he talks, please no interruption, so that we can end the program.
For me, maybe because Mr. Chris is not a journalist, you see there are some certain.
I have that to remind you.
Maybe because there are some certain allegations that you put forward.
Okay.
That is an allegation that you don't put it forward as a fact.
Imagine talking about people.
You remember that I said that to me, every politician in Nigeria, if they say good morning, go and check this car. All of it. That is for me, and it's a fact. They always find one way or the other to win. But the thing here is this: there is no organization that hackers will not target it. Even Galaxy app, they can say the number of time they have to do a lot of things at the back end.
And it happens
everywhere. Number one. Then number two is this: they are putting it forward as if Peter Obi, because of the video that you saw, I've seen that particular. If I tell you what is behind it, it goes beyond what you are even thinking. Every politician always find a way, the way they want to read. But this particular one, don't put it as if it's the obedient that is calling for electoral transmission of a no. It's not for any politician. It's for our system.
It's for
that one. Then another thing again is this. You see what you quote about the coverage. You are correct, but the problem there is that the statistics for that is not about the kind of internet we have now. See, there are a lot of internet organizations that are not common now, that anywhere you go, they create space for you. You do whatever you want to do in any part of the
broadband
country.
Penetration is not a measure of communication.
It's not.
Please, this is my area of practice.
If US can use their technology, they will not come to Nigeria and they can target any subject on the soil of Nigeria and it's going to eat it. As far as Sokoto State, I'm telling you, we can do it.
All right, we can do it. We can make it right. We can make the election transparent as much as possible. I'll put it as that.
Progressively.
So that they don't yam us off. That's what I'm trying to
Progressively. We can make it happen progressively.
Thank you, Mr. Chris, for coming on the show. Thank you, Mr. Shagun, for coming on the show. And thank you, Mr. Nuruddin, for coming on the show. I wish we had more time to go about this.